much. That was, I think, a very overwhelming and emotional session for all of us. You know, the kind of like the whole hugging aspect, how you. I think the topic itself was quite something that I think everybody would relate to, but at the same time, don't really pay and practice it on our daily lives. And anytime we meet people like you, or you know, there are enough reminders for us to know how important it is. And thank you for bringing that out so well today.
Thank you.
With that, I'm now open to the any questions that they have, and I'm sure they have lots and lots of them. I'll be putting them to you, and I hope you can answer them. Meanwhile, to the audience, I would just like to inform again that you can use the chat box. There's an activities button as well, right next to the chat option, which you can use to put forward your questions, and we'll be engaging with them accordingly. So we have, all right. So one of the questions is actually about the links. All right. So I think we can always share the links with all our participants. We would love to, if with your permission, Mr. Marko, and we could paste that, we could share that with the participants so that they can, you know, refer to them on their own time. And actually there's somebody, Miss Hema Devarajan, who actually wanted to know more about the Finnish culture, which is known for its outstanding happiness index.
All right. So Finnish people, we ourselves, we usually don't think ourselves as happy people. We live in a very big country, and there's a lot of distance between people many times. And but I guess the research shows that in general, people in Finland are one of the happiest people in the world. And I think this comes down to a couple of reasons. I think that as I told you about the Finnish education system, we focus on support and not leaving anybody behind. So I think because we are living in this Nordic cold country, we've had to learn to support each other. And rather than compete, we make sure that everyone survives. And I think this kind of environment and culture has created a lot of safety. And I know that there's still tons of people who suffer from many kinds of hardships and mental problems due to failed upbringing, failed relationship with their parents, and so on. And of course, the education system hasn't been always successful in repairing these kind of troubles. But I guess because the focus is more on cooperation and support, the potential for surviving is better. And also we have a huge number of voluntary organizations which focus on supporting other people and supporting people who are in trouble.
Okay. All right. So
thank you, Marko.
I understand
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. So the links have been posted on the chat box as well for a lot of references. So in case anybody wants to take it ahead from there, that would be great. In fact, we also have a very beautiful feedback. It says the session itself was full of love and a feel-good factor. So I think that says something.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hi.
We are waiting more questions.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in the school that you created, you said that your students can learn like whatever they want, however they want, and everything. But how do they like still meet the requirements to go to university?
Yes. So that there are in democratic education in general, the aim is to allow students as much freedom as possible. In our online school, my solution was not to or try to restrict this freedom as little as possible. But since in Finland we have a mandatory curriculum also for homeschooling students, So they have to study the same topics that are taught in the schools. So my solution was that I created tons of questions. We have more than 4,000 questions to guide the students to the topics they need to know. But they are free to choose any question at any moment to work on. So they have a huge number of options to choose from, which is not equal to total freedom of to choose yourself what you want to learn, but it gives you much more freedom than in the school, where you have to study certain topics at certain moments. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, definitely. And could you give me an example of one question and one requirement?
Sure, I'll try to remember something. Well, let's take for mathematics, for example. Mathematics is generally taught in schools in a way that it's a lot of repetition. In Finnish schools, they teach more than 1,000 hours of mathematics. And even though our education system is supposed to be one of the best, when I've been teaching in high school mathematics, many students don't have even the basic knowledge of mathematics, even though they've been taught mathematics for 1,000 hours. And I see this, the reason for this is because the focus is on calculus, not on actual mathematics, and not on the concepts themselves. So I've cut down the mathematics into less than 100 questions. And if you are able to answer those 100 questions, then you know all of the elementary mathematics. And this actually allows anybody to learn the basic mathematics in about 50 hours. And the questions can be like, how can you divide decimal numbers with each other? And if you understand this and can explain it, then you don't need to do all this kind of rote learning and repetition, because you understand the concepts, you understand the meaning of the idea and what it's used for. So this example is also used in the school that I was visiting, the Sudbury Valley School, where they don't have any mandatory things. So if someone wants to learn mathematics, they are free to learn it, of course on their own, but they can also, of course, ask help from the teachers. But many times the teacher tells them that you have to first find some other people, and I will teach you as a group. And when they find enough people and start a group, they will go through all of the elementary mathematics in half a year, 2 hours per week. So it's about a little more than 50 hours, and they know better the mathematics than in teaching the students 1,000 hours. Did I answer your question?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes. So we actually have a very beautiful feedback I'd like to read out to you. It says Ms. Yasmin Liaquat, she has said, emotional session, and it was really very, very important to bring in love factor among our students, co-workers and society for a peaceful existence, and it is a basic factor. So thank you so much for this session. And with that, I proceed to the next question that is brought out by Ms. Lakshmi Prakash. She has asked, how far were you able to connect with love with the students during the pandemic?
That's a very good question. Of course, our school is online school, and actually we don't organize teaching at all. We don't have lessons unless someone requests them. The kind of responsibility of teaching is with the parents. So we offer our online system and all the questions, and the student is free to study on their own way and on own pace. And if they need help, of course, they can ask from their parents and they can ask from us. But the way we try to connect with our students is that we organize some other like extracurricular things. Like we have our own Minecraft server. So we have weekly game sessions where the students can come together and we can play on the Minecraft. Also, I meet with some of the students together. We watch some movies together and talk about the movies and have these kind of meetings, which are not non-academic, but are very much to do with getting to know each other and caring for each other.
That's
All
really
right. Yes. So I think we have more questions coming in. All right. I'll just like to repeat again that the links for that have been referred to us by Mr. Koskinen has been posted in the chat box. So any one of you who wants to take it ahead, you can copy it right from there. All right. Okay, so I think we are done with the questions. If there's anybody who would like to unmute themselves and take it ahead, please do so.
Namrata, I have one thing to share. So, Marko,
Sure.
can you share about the EUDEC that is happening virtually and EUDEC, the virtual platform that is open for tomorrow?
Yes. So there's a annual event called EUDEC, International Democratic Education Conference. And of course, during this corona time, we haven't been able to organize it as a physical meeting. But the great people from Nepal have organized an online event, which started already a week ago and is still ongoing. And they have daily events, multiple daily events happening. And you're most welcome to join. I will try, see, it's called Web EUDEC. Let's see if I can find the link quickly. Maybe I will share the, it's here. I will copy the link on the chat. So this is the Web EUDEC.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. We would also like you to answer just one more question. It has been presented by Ms. Lakshmi Prakash. She asked, do you have teachers talking about life skills?
As I told before, we don't really have teachers who teach actively unless someone asks them.
Mm-hmm.
But my original idea for our online school was to create everything around well-being. It became so complex with all the subjects and topics that are supposed to teach or be learned. So I created a separate topic called well-being. And this topic, I actually created it based on chakras. So there's like 7 topics based on the chakra system. And each topic covers, has several questions about this part of life and kind of these energies that are based on the chakra system.
Oh, okay. I think that's quite a different take, and I'm sure I mean, all can agree that it's working quite well. And thank you for bringing that facet out. And thank you for Ms. Lakshmi to ask that question, which has brought that such a nice concept, you know. I mean, we are aware about it, but then the way you have presented and incorporated and applied it, I think that is something that we all needed to know.